Yeah.
Yeah, it records automatically. Okay,
Yeah, you see it.
we are live. Okay, I'm going to do this. Oh. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on the first ever Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle on YouTube Live. I have a very special guest. If you've been following on social media, you already know who it is. So I'm going to introduce her in a minute. But while we're waiting for more people to join us on this live stream, I want to ask you to please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. It's very important not only for support of this show, but also for yourselves so that you can get notifications when a new episode drops after its television premiere and when we go live again. So please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and we will get started. All right. Oop, there we go. We got half a video. There we go. Okay, so joining me is Chef Nina Curtis, a celebrated professional in plant-based cuisine, named one of the 25 top women in food service in hospitality in 2024. With over 2 decades of culinary excellence, she has redefined the possibilities of plant-based cuisine, earning widespread acclaim from vegans and non-vegans alike, which means that everybody can go vegan now. In 2020, Chef Nina was honored as America's top hospital chef, highlighting her commitment to health and flavor. In 2023, Chef Curtis curated a historic plant-based menu for a White House staff dinner at the invitation of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, honoring Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This groundbreaking event showcased her ability to elevate plant-based cuisine to luxurious heights, which you'll also see. As the director and executive chef of Plantish & Co. Culinary Arts, Chef Curtis continues to innovate and inspire through her delectable creations and leadership. Her role in the American Culinary Corps, a James Beard Foundation and State Department initiative, underscores her dedication to culinary diplomacy and cultural exchange. Chef Curtis's influence extends beyond the kitchen. She is a passionate advocate, sharing her expertise through captivating dining experiences and enlightening lectures, inspiring culinary professionals and enthusiasts worldwide with her imaginative and nourishing creations. Chef Nina, thank you so much for being here on Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle.
Thank you for having me, and I'm so excited. I'm your first guest going live here. I like being first. I don't know if you've noticed that about me, but it's very exciting. I'm very excited for our pre-Valentine's dinner because what I've created is a whole menu. So anyone watching, tuning in live, or tuning in when you go live on TV, will be able to have a menu and they can do it ahead of time. And I'll talk about that. So I'm super excited. I always cook food that I love to eat. So I'm going to enjoy this tonight. And then I'll probably enjoy it on Valentine's Day also.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. You gave me a preview just now before we went live. And I tell you, I wish I had taken a flight over there because
serve you.
This is going to be a special Valentine's Day, and I'm so excited that viewers will get to have your menu to prepare for themselves, for the Galentines, their vegan times, their loved ones, and whoever they think is special.
Yes, I agree. I love that we celebrate Valentine's Day, but for me, and I know we've talked about it, love is every day for self and others that we love. So, I put a lot of love. People always say, what are the ingredients? And my first ingredient, whenever I'm cooking for someone, is love, because my grandmother used to always tell me, don't touch my pots if you're in a, bad mood, because the energy that we put into the food is so important. So this is very appropriate today. I think that we're putting a lot of love.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Perfect. And you show love every day in what you do. So tell us what is on the menu for Vegan Times.
I'm super excited. We're going to do, I can't tilt it, but you'll see it when I plate it because of the sauce. We're making jumbo stuffed pasta shells with almond ricotta. And I'm actually going to show how to make your own almond cheese because it's so easy. I mean, we can make tofu, we can make different things, but this is really beautiful. And because the almonds and their texture, it really has that same texture of ricotta. Sometimes people say, can I use cashews? Yes, but you're going to have more of a creamy cheese because the cashews texture just isn't the same as the almonds. But we're going to make that so you can see how easy it is. I made it yesterday so I could culture it. So I used a vegan probiotic. So now you're having good gut health, and it just has a different kind of energy in the food. But I'm going to put these in the oven because these are going to bake at 375 for about 20 minutes. Okay. And I have the almond ricotta stuffed in the shells. You don't want to stuff the shells too much because they can, as they're cooking, they can split. So you just want to get a good, amount. So when you break into it with your fork, it'll just be a delicious bite. Then I put we're using a pomodoro sauce. And people always ask me, well, what's the difference in a pomodoro sauce and a marinara? Because marinara, we all know, it tends to be chunkier, a little thinner, depending on who you're talking to. But pomodoro tends to be more smooth, and when we cook it down, thicker. So you'll also see that when I plate it. So give me just a second to put this in the oven.
Okay. And I'll just say while you're doing that, I've made tofu ricotta, which is pretty easy. I've made a very simple version of tofu ricotta.
Yes.
But I love that you're showing us how to make this because it's great to have the variety and then also the additional health benefits.
Sure. And options, because you and I know some people have sensitivity to nuts and tofu, but there are many options. So I just got raw nuts. We want to make sure we're getting raw nuts, not roasted.
Okay.
On any nut that we're using, right? When we're doing things with nuts. But I soaked them and then I peeled them. So they had the skins on them, but I peeled them. That's how much I love you all. It's like I'm milking this nut. And I'm just going to put it in my blender. And all that's in my blender right now this is 1 cup of soaked nuts.
Okay.
So if I were to use about 3/4 of a cup of dried nuts, they'd probably expand to a full cup. Okay. We're removing the phytic acid, so it's going to make it easier to digest. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we're adding I'm adding a vegan. We would add a vegan probiotic. So it's going to further break down the nuts for easier digestibility.
Okay. And how long do you soak the nuts overnight, right? Or how many hours?
I say overnight, but depending on what your overnight is, it would be like 12 hours, right? I mean, anybody's, right? Some people's overnight is 6 hours, depending on how they work. And then this is just a vegan probiotic.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, sometimes I'll use, if you can find it, even coconut kefir.
Okay.
Right. And so you can do different things. If you don't have a probiotic, if you're not worried about all that, you could also use lemon juice.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay.
If you're like, I just want to make it for the texture, I get my probiotics elsewhere, but this is culturing it, not just giving it a tart, lemony flavor. Okay. But if you're there and you don't have it, you could use like a tablespoon to a cup of soaked almonds that I'm using to about 3/4 cup of water. You could then use just about 3/4 of a tablespoon and taste it up because it's going to give you that tartness, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I've got my 3 ingredients, only 3 ingredients: filtered water, almonds, and your probiotic. It's going to be just a little bit of sound as we get this going. So, if you're listening and you just want to mute for a minute, go ahead and you can always add more water.
Okay.
But it's hard to take the water out if you use too much. So this is 1 cup of almonds to, like I said, you could even start with a 1/2 cup because it depends on the size of your almond, the brand of your almond, so many nuances. But this particular, because I already made this yesterday, so I know my measurement, unless a certain almond got funny with me, it should work perfect. So I'm just going to keep blending now.
Okay.
I like to check, but I just also want you to see how much like ricotta it looks.
Oh, wow.
Almost cottage cheese also, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not blended yet enough. So, give it time to really do its juju magic,
Okay.
and you'll just love this. I'm just going to show you the finished product with the ricotta. After I cultured it, then I took spinach. You got to really, really wring the spinach out. You could buy frozen again, make it easy on yourself. Organic if you can, but then you got to get that water out. So I put it and I just wring it out. Otherwise, it'll make your cheese really watery. And then you add your salt, a little bit of nutmeg, a pinch of nutmeg gives it that very earthy and more umami flavor that cheese is so loved for. And then I put some nutritional yeast. But let me finish this. So I make this with no salt, no seasoning until it cultures. And then we can add our salt, our nutmeg, just a pinch of nutmeg, just a pinch. This is not an eggnog. And then you can put your nutritional yeast. Then you can fold in other things that you'd like. I love that everyone's coming in. Hello, everybody out there. I'm trying to see everybody saying hello. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. So look there what we have.
Wow, delicious.
So that's what we want. I've just got my sink here because I like to clean as I go. I'm notorious in the kitchen when people are working with me that we clean as we go because it just makes life easier. So I'm going to put this aside. Now what we want to do is I'm taking this is just unbleached cotton bag, nut milk bag.
Okay.
If you don't have a nut milk bag, you could also use just, what is it? Cloth. What am I trying? Cheesecloth. You could use cheesecloth very easily. But I like my bag. So now I'm just going to put this in because I still want to welcome everyone coming in. I still need to get the milk out of here. And we're not wasting anything. So I am going to squeeze. I told you I was milking these nuts. I'm getting the milk out. And now you have a probiotic almond milk. That's also why I don't want to put any salt or any flavorings in here because I'm not going to put that almond milk down the drain. Right. So now I can use it in my smoothies, in my overnight oats, and it's a probiotic. So you just get that much more nutrient density out of your effort.
Amazing. I love it. I love no waste so much. Oh my God.
That way so it stays on the spatula, right? It looks like ricotta. Amazing. I mean, there are plant-based ricottas out there, but yeah, you can also make your own, and it's delicious and it's easy. I mean, I'm talking and moving with you, but this is going to culture overnight. 24 hours is ideal. Okay. And really, you can decide how long you want to let it culture by tasting it. How tart do you want it? We all have a little bit different. Some people like blue cheese. Some people like a milder cheese. Ricotta tends to be pretty mild until you do something with it. So that is there. Now I'm going to do what I told you I was going to do, and I'm going to get the almond milk out of it. My hands are clean. This is my kitchen. This is for me. In the commercial kitchen, I would put on gloves.
Right.
But in this sense, I just want you to see. I want to get all this liquid out because I really want it to become, in texture. Again, if we say almond ricotta and someone hears ricotta and they know ricotta, they're expecting it to be, they hear the almond, but they really expect the taste and texture. So I'm just going to squeeze as much as I can. Yes, we milk nuts.
That will
Cashews,
begin
though, you
to.
don't need to, they're just so soft. It wouldn't work the same like this so much. But
Uh-huh.
any other nut, walnut, basil, Brazil nuts.
Now, I wanted to ask you, Chef, while we're talking about the various nuts, there's some that you need to rinse after soaking, right?
You rinse all of them.
All of them.
Rinse
Okay.
all of them. And that the reason why is like when I soak these nuts, they had the skin on them. And
Mm,
so it's murky water. But you're
okay.
also rinsing off, we're releasing the phytic acid. So
Okay.
that water would be most often very bitter.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
want to rinse all the nuts. Yes, for sure. Thank you for saying that.
Okay.
Okay. And I also get my workout. My right arm tends to
I
have a
need
little
some
bit
of
more
that.
pump in it.
Do you alternate arms so that you
I don't.
um
I just want to show you what you're trying to get to. Can you see that?
amazing, yeah.
So it's almost ready. I'm just going to put it in a container. If you have like your berry baskets,
Uh-huh.
they're perfect. Don't throw those away. And then you put it in a dish because I probably squeezed this enough like I did with my last batch, but it will keep weeping. So you will, especially if you hang it up,
Uh-huh.
it would keep weeping. So you just get that texture. Does that make sense to everybody?
You guys can all say yeah. I haven't been reading the comments, you guys, because we're also recording this for television. So I want Chef to have, a clean take when I edit this for television. So we will, I don't know if I announced it at the beginning, when Chef is done showing us how to make these delicious recipes, we will have a Q&A, but I love seeing your comments. And so I guess we'll take a moment to read your comments now. I'm so excited to see this. Hey, Chef Nina. And then Michelle says, wow, this looks amazing and easy too. Wonderful. Please, you guys do send your comments. You can even send little hearts. You see, you can tap the little hearts here and send us hearts. But please keep your comments coming. I love them. And then we'll take another pause when there's a logical break to read some more of them, and then the questions at the end.
Sounds great. So this is the amount I got out of my milk from last batch, and I'm just going to add it.
Okay.
Because look at how much milk you have there. And then I'll just refrigerate it, date it. Your milk, I mean, this is again a probiotic, so it's going to have more longevity as far as the probiotic, being preserved longer, let's say, than a normal nut milk, as we'll say, usually 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
If it lasts that long. And then just put it in the refrigerator. Another thing I'm going to do, because this board, look at how it's moving on my plate. You want to put a damp cloth under your cutting board. I usually work with a different one. Then I was like, oh yeah. So then it doesn't move. So you don't slip and you have less chance of having an accident with your knives. Because I watch YouTubes and I see people, their boards are sliding. I'm just like, even a damp paper towel, it's really good, but that's a safety measure. And even in the commercial kitchens, we always put something under our board. So now it's not moving. Okay. And I was like, what's going on? Why is my board doing a surf dance? All right. So what I do have that I'll use, now I'm going to go ahead and let that culture overnight, right? But I want to show you, I've got nutritional yeast in that amount, a cup. I would use 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast, if that's a new term for you, it's not a rising yeast. It's not the same yeast that we are using for baking. This is cultured off of molasses in most cases. And so it has a cheesy umami, really, flavor to it. When I first came into veganism now over 25 years ago, people were like, oh, this is where vegans get their B12. I take a supplement B12. I don't depend on nutritional yeast to give me my B12. And you want the whole spectrum of your B vitamins because they work with the nervous system and energy, right? And then I'm just using some Himalayan pink salt.
Okay, nice.
So, and salt that to your taste. I mean, cheese is saltier, right? So if we're going for a cheese, I would start with like a cup of nuts. I would use about a fourth teaspoon and then work my way up. But I doubt you need more than a half a teaspoon.
Okay. All right.
To salt it. And then again, this is lemon juice. And when I was making the milk, some of it dropped in. So now I have like a buttermilk. So I just kept it. It's almond probiotic with lemon juice, but I could use this still, with anything I'm going to use with the lemon juice. So we'll put that aside, and just a pinch of nutmeg, because that takes it to another level. And the nutmeg, it doesn't taste nutmeggy. It tastes like very earthy and depth. And that's what cheese have, because dairy cheese are mold, right? I mean, in most cases, blue cheese is the most of the mold that we see, because that blue is all mold. And no one wants to hear that, but I like to keep us real and what's going on here. So I'm going to leave this, but what I'm having now that I made this last night, all I did, everything I've spoken about, I just took spinach, got it really dry, wrung it out, chopped it up, folded it in, added my nutritional yeast, added my salt, and it was good to go.
Amazing.
And a pinch of nutmeg.
I don't know if I made that, I don't know if it would make it to the shells. I think I would eat the entire thing out of the bowl.
I know we're putting it in the shells, but it's so good on crackers. It's, you can put it if you're making whatever burger you eat. It's so good. It's as good as a dip with your crudité. So as you're thinking about your Valentine's dinner, whether it's for you, Galentine's, or, someone special, all of these things can be made ahead of time. Your stuffed pasta can be made ahead of time. So you really get to enjoy your company and not be in the kitchen trying to get everything together. And so that's why I really put this menu together, to think about, yes, I'm loving this, or you can bring someone in the kitchen with you to cook along. It just depends on, what you really want to do. I'm going to move some things around now.
Okay.
I just want to show you. So the other thing in our menu we're going to make is a roasted beet tartare. And usually, tartare is raw, but this is a roasted beet. And this is the trick here. When you roast your beets, most of the time, if you look up a recipe or you find it in a cookbook, it usually says about 350, 400. I need you to crank it up to 475. Okay. Because that's where those beets are going to come to life. Ooh. 350, 400, it tastes nice, but who's wanting nice tasting? We want extraordinary tasting foods and bringing all the depth out and not spilling it all. But look at the red for Valentine's Day. I had to have beets. And I literally can eat beets like this for a meal with that almond ricotta on it. A little bit of, all I did here was put a little bit of, when I roasted it, I put a little bit of salt and just a drizzle of olive oil. And you can wrap it in parchment paper if you don't use aluminum, right? And then I just put it in for an hour. So 475 an hour, but I tested it because I just wanted it to still have a bite. And the flavor is so beautiful. You could just slice the, and I did peel it because I just think it's easier to peel it before than afterwards.
Okay.
And wrapping it holds all that juice in. So it was just really beautiful. I put some capers in this.
Yum.
So you have that sweet earthiness, and then you have that bit of saltiness. And then I took the stalk of the beets that usually get thrown away. When I went to the store, they cut the greens off. I really like to saute the greens. So now we have no waste. You use it from the root to the top of the stem. You can use everything. Just obviously wash it really well. But anyway, we're going to fry these to go on top of the beet tartare. And then I pickled half of them that are going to give us a pickleness to this, the roasted, and then we're going to have the just pan searing it. And I think I'm going to just take these capers and throw them in the skillet with this to get a little bit of a crunch.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
And then always lemon. And if you're trying to lessen the amount of salt that you intake, or your doctor has said you really have to lower your sodium, lemon is the trick. because lemon brightens things up. Salt is going to flavor things. It's going to bring out the flavor more of the beets or whatever you're cooking. But lemon is the magic that just brightens the whole dish. So you want to finish with the lemon. If you're making soups, like put a little bit of lemon juice in the soup, but don't put it in before you're finishing so it doesn't evaporate off. So that's that.
Okay. I'll have to remember that because I put lemon in my soups. Sometimes I even slice it and let it cook like that. But I'll have to remember to do this.
The juice, remember, it's water for the most part. It will just evaporate. So it's the trick is you want to keep that brightness of the soup or stews, just that squeeze right when you're finishing, fold it in and then serve it. And it doesn't taste lemony, it just tastes bright. And people notice that. Okay, what else do we have going on? I have so much for you. And then we're going to make these lion's mane. If you haven't had lion's mane mushroom, they look like a lion's mane, kind of fuzzy.
Yeah,
but I'm going to make these, and I'm not going to make a fuss of them. I'm going to put them in our skillet. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and put my induction up here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And I'm just going to pan sear them. A little bit of salt and pepper because we have all these flavors. I don't want to overwhelm your taste buds. Right. But these taste like, to me, when I just do a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and then I'm going to use my press, and you don't have to have this kind of press. You just want to put something in. You'll see me. I'm going to put it down, so it's going to kind of smash them like medallions. Okay. But so delicious. Everything I'm making, I can eat on its own. Sometimes I just want, lion's mane, and maybe I'll have a salad with that. So let's get started with that. Give me 1 second. Okay. And we'll bring up the induction here. And you can watch me cook. I'm just going to switch my plugs.
while you're saying that, I'll mention that we talked about
over circuit my thing, so I have to be careful. I don't want salt to go down.
We talk about how people want, let's say luxury during Valentine's Day, and how non-vegans will have steak or, some kind of animal flesh. And the lion's mane is such a great meaty thing to have.
It is. I love lion's mane. I love trumpet. You could do like scallops, but I'm going to do medallion because, like typical, you go to the store to get one thing and they don't have it in the kitchen. We just know to shift. And nobody really cares because it's just good. And so that's what we do. I mean, I add just a little bit of olive oil to the skillet. And then we're going to put these in and I'm going to let them cook down and then I'll salt and pepper them.
Okay.
And I'm working with an induction burner because it's really easy to stay facing you. It's more energy efficient. It is safer to cook with because the cooktop, you hear it beeping because I'm moving things, but the cooktop stays cool. Oh. It's just underneath, and it's gonna beep. It's just underneath that it gets hot. And so this has a plate that makes it compatible. So people are like, oh, if I do induction, I've got to go out and buy all these pots. No, you don't. You don't. You can take a magnet and just check your pots out. So anything that's compatible will be cast iron, your stainless steel, carbon steel. What aren't compatible, ceramic or glass or aluminum. So this is an aluminum handle and this isn't going to stick to it, but that sticks. So you don't have to go out. You have more things than you think that are very compatible. And you know what we don't think about when I've got the gas going, you've got different toxins coming out. So you want good ventilation in your kitchen. But the years I've been in kitchens and the years that we've cooking in our own kitchens, we're inhaling these toxins. And in your certain area, like where I'm at, they give you rebate when you move over to induction. So that's my spiel on induction.
Now we're learning so much from you, like beyond, we're learning pro tips here and more things to help us care for our own health and the environment.
And it cooks faster. So there is an adjustment because all the heat is in that pan. So if you think you're boiling water, we need to get it to 212 boiling point. That might take 7-10 minutes. We're like just, tapping our fingers, waiting. Here, in about less than 5 minutes, your water is boiling. So it's faster, it's more efficient, it's cooler, and it can save you money. But check that out. And you can start with a cooktop. Some libraries have cooktops. You should check your library because you can check it out and see if you like it. But also for me, if I've got 4 of my gas things going and I need something else, because this is how we have it in the kitchen, we've got 2 pro cooktops because we have everything going and we need something that needs to stay on the cooktop like for hours, reducing and all, then we have it for that.
Okay.
So I just take you in the kitchen with me. I think the home use induction burners are getting better, but you still have to work with them. So I'm going to go ahead and just I've got what I'm calling 4 of my medallions of my lion's mane into the skillet. I'm going to turn those a little bit, and then I'm just going to press them a little bit. I want it a little more pressed than large because I press out. Remember, mushrooms are so full of water content that you want to get that water out. So sometimes I'll put it in a dry skillet, certain of like shiitake and oyster mushroom, royal trumpet mushroom, maitake. It depends on how you're cooking it, baking it or roasting it. You want to pull that water out and then you want to season it to the best of your ability. But when I do like a trumpet mushroom, I would have like a scallop, I'll marinate them. So the juice is already there. Okay. But it's all good.
Yeah, I always have problems with mushrooms. They never come out the way I want them to. So I'm going to try it. And I've never bothered to ask a professional chef. And every time I'm like, oh, you should have asked someone.
Look how quickly they brown. So we're just searing them. But isn't that a beautiful color you get on them?
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
I just, I love it when I love color, I love texture, but I just want to show you, look how pretty that looks.
Oh my God, and that's going to look so beautiful on the plate with everything else.
And just be careful not to burn it. Yeah, it's going to be great. Now now that I have that first batch done, I'm just going to press. This is like a weight. And it'll just help press some of that moisture out. How's everyone doing? Are you enjoying this? Have I made you hungry yet?
A thank you message. You guys, if you want to type some questions in the comments, feel free to, you can totally comment and we'll take another pause to read them. And again, we'll have Q&A at the end. So you can already post your questions, comments. Please do.
Let me check our food here. Oh, it's smelling so good. I wish you all could smell it. So I went about 15 minutes, right? At 375, just covered. I believe my time is right. I've taken off the covering. Now I'm going to let it continue to cook. So it should be, depending on how your oven cooks, because I can say at 375, but all of our ovens are slightly different. What shelf you put it on, I know to put it up top because where the heat's coming in my oven. So just be mindful of that. Just don't blindly go, okay, she said 20 minutes, I'm gonna walk away. You need to watch it. And so now I'm feeling like, yep. Look at how much moisture is coming out of those mushrooms as I press it, and you can see the moisture coming off the cast iron.
Wow. I need to get one of these presses as well.
They're not really expensive either.
Okay. I will put once this live is done, I will I'll try to do it tonight, but I can find the items that you've talked about, and I can put links so people can purchase them if they'd like. That will be in the video description.
That sounds good. So I'm just seasoning these with salt. I love fresh ground pepper. You don't have to buy a grinder. You can go to the store and get your pepper like this and then replace it with your fresh. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
When you buy seasonings, and I do it too, but the reality is when you buy seasonings that are already ground, you have about 6 months. They oxidize. They lose their flavor. So you just want to be mindful. That's why if you can buy whole seasons, or spices, they're going to hold until you grind them. You can even use white pepper. I have white, green, pink, black. Can you tell I like pepper?
All right, you're a chef.
I'm not adding a lot of oil. I'm just taking the oil that I originally put in the pan, and we're going to keep that going because I'm going to start plating. So there's a timing of when everything's ready, what's coming out of the oven. Then I put things in the skillet. I'm going to go ahead and put in our beets. I'm going to add just a little oil so I can do this and I don't have to use a lot of pots. I'm going to use that same skillet. We're going to get these in there just on the side. Have I made anyone hungry yet?
Oh, I definitely am. I'm trying to book a flight right now. I'll just leave the camera rolling.
I just want to show you. Look how beautiful that lion's mane is, that color on it. I'm going to sit them just to the side here because I don't want to overcook them, and I can tell they're done. And then I've got the beets in the skillet.
We can ask if everyone if you've has everyone tried lion's mane? Is it new to you? You can let us know in the comments.
And this is just a little bit of arugula, just a little bit of olive oil. You could use avocado oil, little salt and lemon and pepper, fresh ground. So this is where our tartare is going to sit on top. And I'm just beginning to build it because, you know, when you come in a restaurant, you order your food, you want it out fast. So most of the time in the kitchen, we're preparing. So when we get those orders coming in, we can quickly get it out to you hot, or whether it's room temperature. I mean, I didn't put this roasted beet in the refrigerator. I wanted it room temperature, but sometimes I could chill it for a whole different taste and texture. So I'm going to let that go. These are just, if you're just coming in, we roasted beets at 475, covered them in parchment paper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, peeled them whole. I did it whole because I want to hold all of that flavor. I don't want it to escape. And then I've got the stems that people usually throw away. It tastes like celery and beets to me. So I really love that. Let's see how those are looking good. Okay. So we've got that. Now, I think what I'll do, just to tie it in, always clean your plate. We don't let anything, shouldn't come out of the kitchen with fingerprints on it. I'm going to take a little bit of the almond, even though it's in our stuffed shells, that's hot. I'm going to take a little bit of this and dollop it on top of our roasted beet tartare.
Ooh.
I've just got these that are now fried in a little bit of olive oil. Get them crispy. So now we have different textures. Those are looking good, but I can leave them to the last. And there was something, oh yes. So I have some sage, and I'm just going to put that in a little bit of the oil in the skillet and make them crispy. You don't need to leave them in long, though. You don't want them to burn. And so now you have all these different textures and taste. Everybody likes a little bit of a crunch, right? Yes. So this is a beautiful way to do this. And I'm just going to do that. They don't take long at all. I'm using a little bit of Malden salt that is hand harvested from the city of Malden since like 1888, I think.
Wow. Just
a little bit. It's a flake salt, so it's a flat salt. So you get all these different textures. Okay, I already need to move that. Now it's going to be, as it cools, like a chip. This is your sage. This is how you can elevate your food, and you don't have to be all fancy. You just have to know what to do and be able to move fast so you don't burn things. All right, so we've got the bit of cheese there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of our stock that I pickled. Get all the juice you can out. So now you've got a roasted beet, you have a pickled beet, and you have a sauteed, pan-seared, I'll say, beet. And you've got all these different textures. Well, this is the stalk of the beet, right? But you don't want to throw that away.
I love that this is no waste. It's so amazing.
No waste, all these different textures. So you have this, I'm going to turn this off. You have this flavor profile. You know it's a beet. You know it's the stalk, but it's like a thread you're weaving.
Yeah.
And there's different subtleties of the flavor. You know what?
Like music. It's like music, chef, like the theme, the variations on a theme and all the, oh, I love it.
Exactly. But you can do so much with one vegetable. Like a beet, I can make you think, oh my gosh, that tastes so different each bite.
Yeah.
All right, now I'll be able to show you the actual dish that we are raving here about, our stuffed, jumbo stuffed ricotta.
Ooh.
This is how I'm moving in the kitchen. Yeah, it's coming in and makes you all anxious every time you hear another ticket, run up.
Oh God, I wish I had a fork ready.
I wish I could push this food through the phone. I hope I will drop it, but just look how that's looking.
Mamma mia, que buona.
And that's stuff with the same ricotta that we made, that we put here that's chilled. And then this is warm and melty.
Amazing.
And then I'm just going to work around the centerpiece that I've made. And I'm going to do 3 because they're jumbo. Okay. And then I've got my 4 medallions. So we kind of plate in odd numbers. Instead of 8, I've got 7 things there, right? Like, oh, yes, I have to remember that, but I'm going to show you. So now I just use the mold to hold things in place. And let me move this so I don't flip it because it's super hot. But I made 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I stuffed it. I have some shells. Always cook more shells than you want to make because they'll tear, they might break. They're, unpredictable. So you just want to have extra, but you can hold those. I have the others because I made 14 shells. Little bit of salt water, bring it to a boil, put them in, check them. The box said 15 minutes. They would have been mush if I had left them in for 15 minutes.
I know there's always that moment, right? Between uncooked and cooked.
Right. So now I'm going to because I want to do this because I have the capers in the beet tartare. I'm just going to go ahead and put some capers in the skillet and let them get crispy like these here that I have. Nice. That I haven't yet. So I'm going to put the capers on top here. Then I'm going to top, that's high. Then I'm going to top with the rest of the crispy beets. Okay. So you don't need a lot of time. Just let them pan sear. Okay. And then these are the greens that were left because they were in the stock part. Oh. So I'm going to just chiffonade them. It's a ribbon cut. And that's going to replace basil. Okay. So I have this whole theme of beets that I'm doing. And I'm just going to really thinly chop them. And that will be my garnish that I'm going to put around everything on the plate.
Oh God, it looks so beautiful. It looks so, I had to put my glasses on to see better with my dear. It looks so gorgeous.
These are just the capers. I'm just doing a quick sear. It keeps beeping when I break the connection, which can be a little bit annoying, but not really bad.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But let me show you so far what we've got going on. So you've got the 3. You could add some more sauce. but it's quite juicy. You've got the tartare in the middle, and I'm not even done yet.
Beautiful.
Because then I made a Romanesco. So cauliflower and broccoli got together on a date for Valentine's, and Romanesco was born.
I
It's
love that's one of my favorite.
From Italy.
When I lived in Rome, it was that's when I discovered it. I hadn't seen it still since before 2002.
Yes.
And in the local little fruttivendolo, the little veg market. And I've made a lasagna, potato lasagna with Romanesco.
Oh, nice.
It's just so special, creamy. The flavor is just so special.
It is. It's more depth, I think, than the cauliflower or the broccoli, right?
Yeah.
Most people pass it up because they're like, "What's that funny looking green thing that looks kind of prehistoric?" So beautiful, though.
Really
so then I top the capers. I like capers, can you tell?
Me too.
And then a little bit of the crispy stalks of the beets. We like height. And then I'm just going to leave that there. So I can pick this up now. You can see the greens around it, and sometimes you get more. The stores, I don't know why they cut everything off, because I think most people think it's just like throw it away. Yeah. But these stems with the greens are really beautiful. So what I like to do, again, like I roasted the whole beet, I like roasting the whole Romanesco. But what I did first was I blanched it. So I brought water to a boil with a little bit of salt, so salt water. And then I put this whole Romanesco in so it would hold its color.
Gorgeous.
So it's very vibrant. I put up a story where I had just finished blanching it, and then you give it an ice bath. So it's just water with ice, so it's very cold. It shocks it, so it holds it and stops it from cooking, because if you don't, unless you're going to put it right in the oven, it's going to continue to cook, and that may not be what you want, or it could cause it to get too mushy. So I like to, sometimes people, cut it, but I just want to cut into it. It's like butter, and I'm going to quarter it, if it allow me. I don't know if I can put anything else on this plate. I get a bit zealous, and I want to eat. It's so delicious and tender. I'll eat this first, but I'm just going to, I want to lift up my lion's mane medallion. I'll show you. And I'm going to sit them on that. So it's kind of, you could cut into it and have all of that bite together. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested when I'm cooking for you, like wherever you go on the plate, what that bite is going to taste like. And I'm going to get a little bit more sauce. I want you to see. I don't have to warm it for me because the food's hot. So I make a nice, this is now I've got like a quart of sauce, and I can put it on so many different things. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of my Pomodoro sauce. How are we doing, Lucia, on time?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Okay. I'm going to just do that. Because, guys, after I take pictures of this, I am going to divulge.
I'm so jealous.
And then we're going to take a little bit of nutritional yeast.
Okay. We have someone, Deborah, is saying gourmet looks delicious.
Thank you. I wish you all could taste it.
And La Chanel says, love lion's mane and oyster mushrooms.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Let me move some things so we have room. And so this is my chiffonade of the beet greens. And I'm just going to kind of hold it up and drop it on the plate. Mm-hmm. So now you've got this whole, everything's tied together, right? You kind of tell a story on the plate. So on Valentine's Day, think about the story you want to tell. This plate says, I'm hungry and I want to eat. I don't want a finicky little plate. Sometimes, you go to restaurants and they are so finicky with you.
Mm-hmm. This is such a festive feast. I just repeated it. I use the same word twice, but oh, wow.
You can eat this and not feel stuffed. You've got almost every color of the rainbow. You have
Oh,
the
I do.
beautiful Romanesco, and I brushed it before I roasted it. I roasted it at, I said, that was 375. No, excuse me,
Okay.
350. I roasted this, but I
Okay.
brushed it with garlic. I chopped up garlic and put it in olive oil with a
Okay.
little bit of salt.
Okay.
And then this went until it was just tender. So it probably was in the oven for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But
Okay.
then when I did the beets, that was at 475 for an hour. And then when I did the stuffed pasta, that was at 375. Let me back up. What did I do here? 350, 475 for the beets, and 375 for the stuffed pasta.
Shells. Okay.
But I had already cooked the pasta, right? I then
Mhm.
stuffed it. So now we're just really warming things up.
Okay.
But you want your shells al dente. Don't
Right.
overcook them because then they'll taste mushy. Because
Right.
remember, you're cooking them longer. So how does that look?
Oh, so beautiful. All right, everyone, write your comments in. Write your comments in. It looks so beautiful, chef. Oh, what a perfect vegan times day.
Right?
Whoever
It's our
makes
pre-dinner.
this.
I'm so excited. Oh, and then I've got my sage that I put in. I think I got a little juice on it, but we won't tell anybody. It's going to be still good with a little bit of molten salt. And
Mm,
that's going to just be here. So now you have this beautiful, flavorful texture. It's just a yummy plate. That's all I can say.
gorgeous. What a feast. What a love feast for
Yes.
any day, for Valentine's Day or any day. Like Chef said, you can eat any of those elements separately in different combinations, but this is absolutely so festive for Valentine's Day.
So this one dish, you could make 4 different dishes. You could
Mm-hmm.
have the lion's mane and the romesco on its own. You could do some mashed potatoes. You could do your rice. You could have the pasta on its own. You could have the tartare with something else. So I like to always think of how many things can I show someone that you have like these items you can cook. Sometimes you just want to eat it. That's it. I can just have the lion's mane medallions, right? Or and you want to take the almond ricotta and put it on chips or crackers, or
Mm-hmm.
just have it with the tartare and leave it alone. And I think that makes it, for those that I've worked with that are kind of a little bit nervous to cooking, you find things you like, you get those down, and then you have like this wardrobe of dishes that you can go to and you don't get bored.
Yeah.
And I have something else I need to share with you.
Okay.
Let me get it, because we can't have a meal without a beverage.
No, especially not on the day of love.
Or are we going to take any questions? We're good to pour it?
Should we ask the questions? Let's take the questions now, and then
Okay.
we can have the drink. All right.
Okay.
So thank you all for joining, and thanks for all your hearts and your lovely comments.
Yes, thank you.
What questions do you have for Chef?
Maybe they don't have any.
No, you explained everything so clearly that I think
And the
they're all
things
just
I've shared, you can find at your local store. You don't have to go to a gourmet store. I mean, sometimes things are out because just the nature of the beast right now, right? They
yeah,
didn't have
yeah,
royal trumpet mushrooms, but lion's mane looked really good. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, that even sounds better to me. But everything I've shown you is nothing that you have to go to a specialty store or go to out of your way. You can find it
Mhm.
at any local store you're shopping at. I'm not going to name stores on this
Right.
platform, right? To not, yeah.
Right.
So that's the other thing I like to show people. There are aspirational dishes, and I like doing aspirational things to show people this is what you can do. And there are things that I hope all of you that are tuning in and will tune in later will go, I could do that. I'm going to make that dish for Valentine's Day or not.
Right.
But that's what I really like to show, that it is easy to eat a plant-based diet, whether you're flexitarian, omnivore, vegan, vegetarian.
Right.
It is a cuisine. It is a cuisine. It doesn't make you vegan as a lifestyle, but it is a cuisine that's very flavorful, very satiating, very nourishing, and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In
So
my
when you
opinion.
oh my God, so much. And then I have no other word than festive, because it really is all the colors, the layers, the theme, the recurring theme, the use of the beats. Oh, everything about it is just perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. So
Thank
remember,
you.
when you make this dish, tag Chef Nina at Botanical Chef, tag Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle. It's Lucia Vegan Lifestyle, no apostrophe S. Tag us, and we will repost your photos and videos. If you make it for Valentine's Day, do share the love. And whenever you make this dish or any of the elements, please tag us so we know that you've enjoyed what Chef Nina has offered us.
So let's get our drink. I think
Yeah.
it's fair, and we can watch for any questions.
Yeah.
So last night I have hibiscus flowers, so I made a hibiscus tea, and this also has a rose syrup in it. So, the red, the hibiscus, so rich in antioxidants, and because it's red, it has anthocyanins, blue, red, black foods, really rich. And then the rose comes in. Can I call you Rose? Right? And then I have ice cubes that make shapes. So we have a rose with rose petals, and then we have a heart with rose petals.
Amazing.
And you can drink this like this, and it's beautiful, but I just want a little sparkly since, it's a celebratory thing. I get excited with Martinelli, but here we're going to go. So I'm just going to pour in about that much of the hibiscus tea. All I did was boil water. I put the hibiscus flowers in this. I then just poured the water over it. I covered it and let it set all night. That's that deep, rich color. And then once I did that, I poured it out and took the flowers out. I strained it. Okay. And then I put the rose syrup in, and I just have a little bit of sparkling water.
Oh, I'll be making
I'm going to top it off with.
Amazing. I love hibiscus. I drink it almost every day. So we'll be making this.
So good. Yeah. Rich in vitamin C.
Vitamin C, yeah.
And I'm just going to take a little bit of my lemon. Okay. I always have cut lemon. I just kind of keep them in my refrigerator.
Oh, that's such a smart idea. I'd keep them whole, and then I forget to use them. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use this lemon. And what I do, which you probably shouldn't do if they're not organic, is if I squeeze a lemon, like half a lemon, into my whatever salad dressing, I'll take that lemon and I'll put it in a glass of water and then just soak it and keep drinking it throughout the day. So I think if it's not organic, it's probably not the safest thing to do, right?
Well, if it's, oranges, thicker skins, they're probably not spraying so heavily, like avocados. Somebody's going to be coming at me. I don't buy organic or avocados. They don't spray those trees. I'm in California. I know that. So they're already in my store, $3 for an avocado today. So if you got an avocado tree, invite me over. But then I just put a little bit of a lemon wedge.
Oh, gorgeous.
You could do lemon zest in it because, again, lemon brightens it up. It just brings that extra edge. And you could put your alcohol in it. You don't have to spike it because you could do champagne in this very beautifully.
I have some vegan champagne here. So I'm going to pour myself some. I did not make this.
I didn't
love that idea.
Flowers either. I just steeped them. And I love these ice cubes because then they just float, and then as they melt, yes, the petals are going to come in the drink, but the rose petals are also edible. You want to make sure if you're putting rose petals on a plate or you're using them, that they're edible rose petals, because not all roses are grown to be eaten. So
Right.
that
Very
distinction.
important. Okay.
But
I
this
love how
has
the
been
drink
so much fun.
ties it all in. It's so perfect.
I was
Chef,
really into the red theme. Can you tell?
yes, perfect for the day. That's what we wanted.
Cheers to you,
Cheers.
Lucia. Thank you for inviting me to
Thank
join
you,
you for your
Chef.
first YouTube live show. And everyone out there, I hope this inspires you to either make a different dish tomorrow night, or especially for Valentine's, if you're going to have a Galentine's
Right.
with yourself, you, yourself, and I, that's a lot of people to be with you, and or that special other person in your life. You have something to think about. You can make it your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank
Happy
you, everyone. Thank you,
Chef.
Lucia, for
Thank you
having me.
so much. Happy Vegan-Tine's Day.
Mm, it's so delicious, so refreshing, so refreshing. I have to make this more often, because you can just make it and keep it in your refrigerator, get sparkling water. You don't need sodas and all the rest. You have that sparkling aspect that most of us are craving, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
But it's so
absolutely.
much more refreshing. And then I'll usually drop my lemon actually in it. But to the point, lemons, oranges, avocados, also, if they're not organic, just bring them home and scrub them. There are, vegetable washes out there that
Yeah. Yeah.
just remove that. And then, yes, put lemon in your water. It's very good, especially in the morning, to start with lemon in your water to
Yeah.
really help the lymphatic system and get you going. So that's a great thing.
Exactly.
So thank you again.
Jeff, thank you so much.